Welcome to the Well-ish podcast, sponsored by Iowa Specialty Hospital, where real life meets better health. We're your hosts. I'm Derek.
I'm Anthony. Let's dive in.
Welcome back into another episode of the Well-ish podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Derek.
I'm Anthony.
You still are Anthony. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we should probably mix that up a little bit. It's always the same thing.
Yeah. No, mix it up. What are you talking about? Your name's your name.
Yeah, but it's always just like you always do the clap and then like I'm Derek and then like I'm Anthony. I mean, I got to change that anyway.
Oh my gosh.
We'll work on that.
We are super excited today to have one of our own with us, Lynzy DeVary. She is here. She's a nurse practitioner with Iowa Weight Loss Specialists and has been since 2021. And super interesting little caveat, little note to that. She started with Iowa Specialty Hospital just before that as well, working as a hospitalist, doing a little PRN work over some weekends. And I think it's always fun when that relationship starts and it grows into something more. I mean, right? When we get to sit here and talk with people who also work for the organization, they're always very excited about getting to come and do this work, which I think is really cool. And obviously you've decided you elevated your role from every once in a while to all the time. So,
absolutely.
We're super glad you're here. Really excited to talk with you today.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Perfect.
Are you really excited?
Yeah, I'm just a little out of my element. That's all.
Let's go. Hopefully we make you feel more comfortable then.
Okay.
Well, as long as you got your water bottle with you, if you reference back to, were we talking about that
with
Steve? Steve?
So do you think this is it? When every time you do like your hand thing when you come in, do you think that's your water bottle? She has no idea what we're talking about.
I know. It's okay. You'll have to go back and listen to some of our old episodes.
Okay.
Figure that out.
I will.
But I think first off, tell us just a little bit about yourself, kind of, and obviously we've discussed briefly now your step right before you came to this role, but tell us why you're a nurse practitioner with Iowa Weight Loss. Why are you doing this?
Right. So it's pretty interesting. I was a hospitalist for another organization. I started moonlighting for Iowa Specialty Hospital, covering Belmont and Clarion. And I really got to know kind of like, we speak of culture, but that truly is present comparatively. And I really enjoyed the people we worked with, and knew Jody Horstman, our old colleague, and she kind of said, "Hey, there's an opening," and applied, and here I am. I went from, seeing people at their worst, hospital stays, scary moments, to a position where I really feel like I belong because I'm more working on preventative on that aspect. So I think that's really important for me.
Yeah. Do you feel like that was when you got into healthcare and medicine and all that stuff? Like, is that kind of where you always thought you would want to end up, is in the preventative, or is that just you stumbled on it and realized that was the right thing for you?
I think that anyone's journey through healthcare in different roles, you always want the best for your patient. Mm-hmm. So when you get into more a preventative role, it's the best for the patient before they get to the negative outcomes. Mm-hmm. I didn't ever know this is where I was going to end up, but I've really enjoyed coming to this, and I feel like this is my place.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great. I always like to do this. I'm going to back you up even further. So give me it from the get-go. Where'd you tell me where you were born and all that stuff, but where'd you come from? Like, paint the picture as to who you were prior to getting to this hospitalist point here with Iowa Specialty.
So I've always lived in Iowa. I'm originally from northern Iowa. I'm the oldest of 6 of a blended family. Went to college at Allen and Waterloo. They had a program with UNI at the time for your BSN. So right after that, I became a nurse, and fast forward, worked in the Des Moines Metro for years. And I said I was going to go back to school to get my nurse practitioner after 2 years because that was the old requirement. And I think 8 years later I did. It's a little bit delayed. But it was always a goal of mine to go back. Sometimes when you're out, it's hard to get back in.
I think we can both speak to that for sure. Okay. So working as a nurse, do you feel like, did you like that kind of, I mean, obviously you wanted to go back to school. What kinds of things were you doing when you were doing the nursing early on?
I mean, I've worked med surge, I've worked ortho floors. A lot of the time I was in the operating room. Worked with an orthopedic surgeon for a long time, or with orthopedic surgeons for a long time. I was first assist for a while, so I did a lot about that. Kind of did some management roles. Was supervisor of surgical services. Was one of them, and that's kind of when I was already kind of heading towards the path of nurse practitioner. So I've done a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's a common theme with a lot of our nurse practitioners around here is that they've all kind of been in a few different areas. They've experienced a lot of different things, and they landed where seems like where they want to be. You know, to your point of the preventative side of health, like you ended up kind of where you wanted and maybe needed to be, which is cool. I think that's awesome about here.
Kind of mirrors like where I feel like healthcare in general is going.
Yeah.
Right. It's
completely agree.
Way all over the place, and then I think it's heading towards as much preventative medicine as possible. Yeah. So,
and I feel like I see patients a lot when they're wanting to come to us first and wanting to get the preventative medications and help and assistance to live a healthier lifestyle, so they don't have the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. So they're trying to avoid that. You know, they've seen their parents age and have some of those disease processes where the outcomes weren't so good. So I feel like I talk a lot with my patients.
Isn't it nice to have someone like voluntarily come in and it's like, hey, let's try this. It's like, okay, I will.
Yes.
Right?
Complete opposite from when people are in the hospital. They do not want to be there. It's their worst day, where here people want to come. So it's a great aspect.
It is a good aspect. I think it's a fantastic transition into what you do here on a daily basis. So yeah, let's just start there. What does your day-to-day look like?
Oh, I mean, we come in. I usually check my inbox, do refills, answer questions, see patients, chart in between, some meetings at noon.
Sometimes skip lunch, sometimes not.
Then I see patients, and I usually try to get at least everything kind of rounded up by the end of the day, stay after a little bit to make sure of that, and then head home to my husband.
There we go.
Patient number 2.
Patient. Do you have a lot of follow-ups that you are working on, or how many new patients do you see each day?
My new patients, just due to availability, was down a little bit last month, but we have been strategically working on my schedule, so at least I'm seeing 2 new patients per day.
Yeah.
And that's not how it always works, but that's the idea.
That's why we have a team, right?
Yeah, yes, we need the team.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool though. I feel like in my experience with the follow-ups that I get to see, like that's the best. And I think I said this with Leanne too, but like one of my favorite parts about working in this capacity is that we get to develop relationships with these people, because they come in and I'm going to see them again and then again and then again. That's the point, which I think is really fun. Do you feel like that's maybe part of what keeps you here or makes you excited about the work that we do?
Yes, I think that keeps, the relationships with the patients, the relationships with the team. I mean, I know I'm not alone. I have everyone working for the same goal. So I think we really complement each other in that fact.
Yeah, and when we're talking about the team, do you want to maybe talk about how you work with that other parts of our team? Because I think that's something that really differentiates us, is that we have that comprehensive look when you come in here as a patient, right? It's not just coming to see someone for the medical side or just to see a dietitian. Like we have a full team for all aspects of your health.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, especially in my first interview, with both of you here being, background in dietitian or both dietitians, I do always say if they haven't seen one already, it's very highly suggested because it's surprising. Even though when you think you know what you're doing and you think you know what healthy is, it's not always the case. So even having help with tweaking small goals, habits, and kind of going through day to days is very helpful, working with dietitians. And then, I always say everything's connected. So if you're having a whole bunch of anxiety, depression, situational stressors, therapy is offered and very helpful because, who knows? Someone's very stressed out, they cope with eating, and then, you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a revolving door in those situations, right? And yeah, I think to your point, like we can point you in the right direction as to maybe who's best fitted for that situation. I thought that was a good word that you used, just because a lot of it does come down to situations, right? Yeah. So when you meet with a patient, you kind of talk about what you already go through. What does a medical provider do for our patients that come in for weight loss?
I feel like I'm kind of the director of the navigator. Um, you know, Obviously I do a lot of medication management, but not everyone's on medication. If you need physical therapy because you need help movement, I mean, we're going to do that. We're going to do the dietitians. We're going to do the therapy, metabolic testing. If we need to investigate something, drawing labs, and really just keep pivoting to help the patients reach their goals. And I always say this to my patients because I think this is important. It's not always about the numbers, but overall, I want them to feel healthy, happy, and have it be sustainable because I think those are the most important factors.
Is that hard to get across to a patient?
No, I think actually it relieves some pressure because I feel like the pressure of that red number in your chart that says you're overweight or obese, people focus on. And so kind of removing that, and we're not worrying about that. We're worrying about how can we improve to make your life better.
I love that. I think that is like, to me, whenever I get to talk with a patient in that sense, right, is we celebrate any goals that they've set and achieved, right, whether that be weight related or not. But I always tell them, like, I just want you to feel good. That's my number one thing is I want you to feel really, really good.
The
That's it.
non-scale victories. So if we focus on those, it makes it all easier.
Yeah, and you said it does take the pressure off of focusing on that. I think most people that do come in here, I think they struggle with focus, right? Because there's so much information out there, and there's so much also negative information that they're being told. And Derek says this all the time, but John mentioned this, Leanne mentioned this, but we're their biggest cheerleader, right?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
this stuff. You kind of mentioned this too. You know this information, but we're here just to kind of help walk you down that path or guide you to where you want to be. And I wonder, and I'm actually gonna ask this in a question. Like, I wonder, do you have a lot of patients that do come in here and think that we're just purely gonna talk about their weight? Because I don't think I also would like you to talk about the Sika scale too, because I think that's also a big aspect.
Oh, for sure.
It's not just about
The Sika scale is especially important right now with all the GLP-1 medications out there because, they're easily accessible, but if people aren't doing it right, I mean, it gets kind of scary. So the Sika scale shows muscle mass, fat mass, body fat percentage, and I really try to focus on the body fat percentage because if we can overall improve that, sustainability is easier. So the GLP-1s have, they're known for the concern for muscle mass wasting. Well, if we do it right, we're getting our protein in, we're getting our, firing our muscles, then we shouldn't have that issue. Or at least we can keep track of it and better it,
Monitor it. Yeah.
monitor it more. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. I think that's because we have that tool. That's one of the first things that I like to mention to people. It's like, look, that this weight number is, it's just not. I mean, like if you're on the moon, the weight would be way different, right? But that muscle mass, that body fat percentage, that's the one that's gonna really impact these health outcomes. And so, trying to help them understand that, and then also, like we've already talked about, celebrating the non-scale. Vic, did you go climb that mountain today? Because that's awesome. So,
Could you fasten your seatbelt on a plane?
true.
I mean, those are simple things that sometimes we forget about. Put on your own shoe. Those are all non-scale victories that improve someone's day-to-day ADLs, activities of daily living.
Absolutely.
What else? Because I think those are fantastic examples as to those non-scale victories, but they don't need to be, and not to use your example poorly, but you don't need to be climbing a mountain, right? Exactly. How can you tie your shoe easier? How can you do these ADLs much easier?
And these are things patients have said to me, and one of them, was able to go, they went to Colorado. They were able to go hiking on a hiking trail, which they hadn't been in years. What are some others? Do you guys ever hear of any?
Oh, I feel like all the time.
Non-scale victories?
Yeah, getting up off the floor with your children. I think that's one of the most common ones I hear.
I hear that a lot from grandmas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Low cars. I think getting out of low cars, being able to situate that. A lot of people transition from what I hear to the higher stack cars, like an SUV or a mini SUV, things like that.
Energy in the morning, feeling good in the morning, because that's one that oftentimes you don't even realize you didn't feel great until you start eating good food and losing a little bit of that body fat. That body fat percentage starts dipping down, and you're like, woo. You just feel this almost electricity. You feel so good.
And I feel like it is a cycle once you start doing, decreasing your body fat percentage. So you're exercising, you're eating healthier, you're doing the things. I feel like then you start feeling good. Well, then you want to push the boundaries. Then you want to kind of even improve what you are doing.
Yeah, it's the compound effect.
Yeah.
But once you step out of that, but I think that's a big thing. I think there's that analogy, right? Everyone's in this box, and it has two open doors on the outside, and anyone can change it. It just gets comfortable here. But once you do kind of take that step outside that one, whatever door it is, it makes it easier to open another door or move or keep moving or get that momentum. How do you find that momentum to keep stacking those small little habits? And I think that is just, again, there's so much out there that part's not talked about enough. I think momentum is super important, and I'm kind of ranting a little bit there. So
I agree. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about medications, because I don't think we have really spoken about this enough with other individuals we've had in here, and I think it's a super important topic. And before we get to the big G word, maybe we can talk about a few of the other medications that you work with. And by G word, I mean GLP-1s.
We try to address issues. So, it's not uncommon for me to prescribe an anxiety depression medication if we need to be addressing something. Sometimes we use things that maybe are, off-labeled, off FDA approval, because it improves mood, it improves motivation. Some medications are appetite suppressants. Some have side effects, but we're actually looking for the side effects. So one of the medications has a side effect of changing your taste buds. So sweets and sodas don't taste good. So we're utilizing the medications as a tool to make the behavior changes.
As an opportunity, yeah. Then when you were describing that, it kind of just dawned on me that what we're trying to do is really just lower some sensors, to your point, to make that easier to take that next step. And that's exactly what these GLP-1
And
medications are.
start the cycle, start
Yeah.
the momentum, as you
Yeah,
said.
get the momentum rolling, right? Yeah. Oh, that's great. I really liked how you described that. Okay, so then now that GLP-1 is so highly talked about, what does that look like in your practice? You touched on it a little bit with like the Sika scale, but let's get even a little bit more in depth on that.
Yeah, I think GLP-1s are great. I think they've honestly, there's a lot of information out there. So knowing the correct information is huge. Um, and it's, they're very beneficial. And I think honestly, they're changing healthcare in the effect of people would rather be on them earlier and address issues before they have to get the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes and hypertension and so on. So I feel like some of the GLP-1s are making that move towards preventative medicine.
Interesting, because I feel like the original, we'll call it advertising, was based around treating obesity, right? That was how it was thought of for most people. And so as you're talking about it now, clearly that's a shift in how you think about what that medication is doing.
Right. Correct. I mean, we're still treating obesity,
Correct.
but we're treating it earlier before they have all the diagnoses, I feel.
Well, and there's like a purpose. It's not simply to help someone lose weight. It's like, yes, we're going to lose weight, and that is to prevent XYZ, right? I think that's cool. I think that's a really cool way to think about it, because I feel like that continues to drive the important to me narrative of think about your health as early and often as you can.
Mm-hmm.
That way we don't have to end up in places that like the
Right.
patients you were treating before you started working here, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think of a lot of it, or it's really similar to like I think of cardiovascular health a lot, right? Hypertension, to your point. A lot of times we think we're okay or think we're healthy, and you can't really feel that underneath the hood, but something underneath there is going on,
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't thought of it in the way that you've thought about it, to the fact that when we are adding these GLP-1s earlier and younger, yeah, it is reducing that time during that state that is ultimately what is accruing and making you gonna be less healthy sooner or later on.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And this is just a off note, whatever, but people tell me all the time, is this what normal people feel like? And they're like, I didn't know what food noise was until it stopped. And then I felt like it makes everything else easier because I'm not thinking about my next meal when I'm eating my meal right now. And, your coping changes. And, I mean, they're very beneficial in that sense too.
Wow.
Yeah, I still struggle with understanding what food noise is, and obviously I struggle just because I don't experience that. I've never taken a GLP-1 medication. Just defining what that means, because I think another thing, obviously things get amplified. We talked about that already, but when you look further back, the term food noise had not been utilized before 2021, 2022. So the way that I wrap my head around it, and I'm going to explain this so that way hopefully you can also add to it or tell me your thoughts, is to the point of dampening the signals, right? Because GLP-1 medications are lowering, honestly, your desire to eat. Is that also just because of that lower signal, changing that behavior or that want to do that behavior, and that's where like you aren't always thinking about the food. Is it really food noise, or there's that behavior being dampened, or that behavior want being dampened? Does that make sense?
Yes, I think you're right, or on the right path. I think that, and not everyone has food noise, and it's wild, but I had a patient explain it one time, where I actually don't think I have anxiety or depression anymore. I think I was so wrapped up in the guilt of if I ate something bad, the I got off track because I had a regular soda. I mean, the beating yourself up because you're trying to be healthy and you're trying to do the right things, but the impulse, the signals are louder than they can control. And I mean, so to your point, I mean, yes, but I think it's even more. I think it's
No, I think that was a really fantastic example, and I haven't honestly talked with someone that's been on it enough to really ask those specific questions, or been comfortable enough to honestly ask that question. But there's something you mentioned in there, a couple of things. But the first one was that not everyone has food noise. Tell me more about that. What do you mean that everyone has food noise?
I feel I don't know. I've had siblings come in. I've had husband and wife come in, and husband doesn't understand what the wife's talking about when they say that. I mean, can I prove it? No, but I think that maybe their signals are just not as loud or present than others. I feel like that's sometimes not always someone's issue. Maybe, obviously genetics play a role. I feel, binge eating, disordered eating is something that I know, we do deal with. And that's more impulse. Where is the food noise there? I don't even think they're listening to food noise. I think that's more an impulse control.
Sure.
So we just have to figure out what, the barrier is and try to work through it.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting distinction, though, kind of comparing the impulse control versus having that constant thing in your head that's saying, "Where meal, food, where are we at? What's next?" And so that's interesting to think about those two.
Right. And not saying after you do binge that you're not feeling guilty, that you're not feeling upset or miserable, but it's just kind of different ways to look at it.
Yeah, we are all are not the same, and we have obviously have all had different experiences, right? So therefore, we might all have the guilt in some way, but it's going to come at different times, whether that's right away or after, unfortunately, having that impulse, whatever the case is, and how loud it is obviously drastically different too from person to person. So no, I think that's beautiful insight, because all we hear and see, and I'm definitely generalizing though, is like the commercials and those words that are being used, right? But let's say you do start a GLP-1 and you don't have that quote unquote food noise and you can't really concept it, and then you do feel guilty because maybe it's not working as well as like you thought it was going to. And those are the conversations that I would assume that people would want to hear.
And I do have people who come in and they're, I want a GLP-1. And I always say, like, it's not the end all be all. We have to figure out what are our barriers and what we need to, what are you struggling with? So, and they're not for everyone. There's some people who do not want to inject a medication weekly. Some people do not want to have the potential side effects. And everything has their own side effects. So sometimes medication's not the answer either.
Yeah. To the point of side effects, what are some side effects that you see?
I always say everyone's different. And some people don't have any, and some people have everything. So I do, my top 4 that I always talk about is nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. I can go in depth with that, but I don't have to.
Not necessarily.
And I think it's important to point out that part of managing a lot of those things, that's where the team comes in handy, right? Because as dietitians, we work with the food side of things to help make sure.
Well, one of the things I say is, I'm going to say it. One of the things I say always is diarrhea. It's usually attributed to what you're eating. So my famous line, I love this, is avoid fried food, fatty food, fast food, heavy carbs, and sugary items. Now that's easy for me to say, very hard to do.
Oh yeah.
We just talking about our dietary guidelines discussion. that we just got done having. Yeah, a lot of stuff in there.
And then I say, you can work with a dietitian to work through that.
Perfect. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I have any more questions about that, but I am curious. I want to know about you outside of here,
Okay, yeah.
right? Tell me about some things that you like to do in the evenings, on the weekends. How do you explore the world outside of this place?
So I am married. I live in Waukee recently. I said I'd never live off Hickman and I'd never live in Waukee, and here I am. Yes. I have been an avid biker. So me and my friends about 10 years ago bought a Ragbri bus,
Oh, fun.
and we've been, slowly updating it. It got tropical flowers painted on it last year, so
Nice. What's the upgrade plan for this year?
a shower.
Oh, wow.
Really?
We're
a
going
one.
big.
That's a big upgrade. Oh my gosh. All right.
But yeah, it is a school bus that we painted, so slowly working on that. So I like to bike. I am a fair weather fan. I don't like to bike in bad weather.
That's
I feel
fair.
that.
Yeah,
I'm not that
understand.
dedicated. My husband's an avid golfer, so in the last, I don't know, 3 years, he's purchased all this golf stuff for me. And now, last year, I kind of started trying to be serious about it. I'm still horrible, but I did join a golf league.
Fun.
Oh.
All right.
So this will be my year. I
I
have a
like that.
feeling.
There you go.
But I have all of the outfits and
You got the tech. You're
all
ready
the
to go.
tech. Yep. I love to travel.
Where's the last place you went in terms of traveling?
I like to do well, first off, I'd like to say I'm on a break right now because we went on too many week vacations, is what my husband said. So we're taking a break from traveling, but 2 months. But I went to Colorado. I have family there. I have a stepsister, and my cousin lives out there. We went to Scottsdale. We went to San Diego last year for a week over 4th of July, which was really cool because I've always been, in Iowa over the 4th of July. So that was kind of neat.
Fun change of pace for you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
That's about it.
That's about it.
I mean, that's a lot of hobbies. No.
Yeah,
But
I mean, if
bike,
you're
golf,
traveling week long.
Travel. Do we do cheese plates? I mean,
I love to host.
Do ya?
I'm the hostess. I love to have people over, cook for them, try new recipes. My husband just came up with this new one. It's called charcuterie.
Charcuterie. Okay.
It's prosciutto, ricotta, basil pesto, tomato, what is it? Sun-dried tomatoes, arugula, buffalo mozzarella, and you roll it like a sushi roll and
Fun.
cut it, and then you drizzle balsamic glaze on it. Mm.
Wow, that is great.
We've made it every day for like 4 days.
Oh,
I love
really?
that.
That's
Are you
awesome.
looking forward to it when you get home tonight?
I think I need to take a break.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That is
No, I
cool.
love that. Buffalo. So I've heard the buffalo mozzarella. So tell me about this because I feel like I've been seeing it more often. What is
Oh.
that?
It is amazing.
Okay, what's different about it than regular mozzarella?
It's just what it's called, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just buffalo flavored mozzarella.
No,
It's
it's like
buffalo
it's
sauce.
like soft. It's just like the ball.
Oh, it's not.
it's not
Like,
flavored.
you're
It's not
thinking-
flavored. No,
No.
no, it's a yeah.
But I think like I think that was maybe he was using burrata, which is like mozzarella but softer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like it's like liquidy in the inside.
yeah, kind of like
falls apart.
the mozz.
I mean, that
ball.
could be messy too. I'd rather just have the mozzarella chunks, like the soft mozzarella.
Sure.
I thought it was buffalo flavored. So
No,
that's
no.
so off here. I'm like, that sounds.
I don't think
fantastic.
so,
That-
but that's
that with balsamic would be
that's a good question. We need to,
explore.
Investigate
We need to
that,
investigate
yeah.
this. It's
because
important.
that's what I've always called it. I get the ball. I don't know.
Well, when we come over next, you'll just have to tell us then.
Just let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hickman, Waukee, we'll
Waukee,
find
okay.
you.
Good luck.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. But okay, no, that's awesome. Whenever we start to mention food, I got it. So that's your husband's most recent thing that he's been creating.
We cook a lot together.
What's your most recent favorite recipe that you've made?
I make a really mean lasagna.
Ooh,
And I use Graziano sausage, half Graziano sausage.
Deja vu.
Why?
Steve was in here last week or 2 weeks
He's
ago.
like the same person as me. Like we get along really good.
awesome.
Surprised he's not picking up golf too.
I know.
Anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
Finish your
funny.
recipe.
Well, it's just you can use like ground turkey since you're using Graziano sausage or just hamburger. But it's pretty straightforward, and I use ricotta and mozzarella. But
Nice. For your sauce. So I also feel like I make a pretty mean
ooh,
lasagna. For your sauce, is there any trick to it? Do you have any kind of special? Because I like to add some Alfredo sauce to
ooh,
mine. So I do like 2 jars of just your classic marinara, and then I do a jar of Alfredo.
I'd have to try that.
It does come out orange, but it's really good.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I've never tried that.
That's
I always feel like when I mix red sauce with like Alfredo, I always think it's gonna be better than it is.
you got to season it. You can't. Do you just use jars of sauce, my man?
I've never done this at home. Usually it's like at a restaurant.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
You better not be just using jars of sauce.
no,
I
usually
was gonna be
season.
upset.
Yeah. No, if I don't season, I mean, my wife will get on me. She'll let me know right away.
Hey, this is bad.
I feel like
Don't make this
like
again.
she can hear me not adding seasoning when I don't do that stuff.
That's awesome.
So anyway,
Oh my gosh. So Ragbri is planned again this year. Got the shower going on the bus. Anything else? Anything else coming up in your plans that you're excited about? We're taking a break from travel right now, but
I'm about over the break, but
is that what's going to be your next one?
so I'm actually heading to San Diego again, but for the OMA conference. Super exciting, and I am getting ABOM certified, so that's exciting.
congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
couple
ready.
year thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the process of getting all the CEUs and then taking the appropriate classes and stuff. So, but I'll be there for almost a week, and then one of my stepsisters is getting married, so that'll be fun.
Will you tell me, or will you just tell the listener what OMA and ABOM is, so that way they understand what you're talking about there?
So, Obesity Medicine Association, and it's I don't know,
Sorry, what do you call it?
accreditation for regulatory and kind of the model that we're supposed to follow or do follow.
Yeah.
Not supposed to do follow.
And then ABOM is
So technically, this is an interesting fact, and I hope we're working on changing it, but it is a certification to say that you have been credentialed in obesity medicine. So if you're a physician, MD/DO can test out. As a advanced practice provider, so a PA or a nurse practitioner, they don't allow us to test out yet. So hopefully, since this is very progressing field, we'll be able to do so. As of right now, we do all the credits, we do all the classes, we have everything aligned, and then we kind of turn it into OMA.
okay. Yeah, I think it totally should be aligned with the MDDO. So I agree with you there, and hopefully it does get to that point. So, but I think that that clarification will be beneficial, just because just so again people understand that we are highly regulated and science-based
Exactly.
Absolutely.
institution. So anyway, all those fancy words. Yeah. I would just say, is there anything that you would like the patient, listener, individual to know? Whether that's, them coming in or something that we didn't talk about yet.
I think that especially for anyone thinking about it or wanting to go on their weight loss journey or health journey, coming to us or a place that has all the different opportunities for, the comprehensive team, I think is very important. So you're addressing the real issues for, again, the health, wellness, the sustainability piece.
Well, thanks for coming in. This was
Thank
this was
you.
great, and thank you. That was it. That's all I got.
Thank you.